Good morning. Well, I've got one of the spoons here that has dried pretty good, and we're going to kind of do some more shaping on it and stuff like that. But it was so moist, I was afraid it was going to fall apart, which is kind of always a concern because once again, it is I don't know, about 39 degrees Fahrenheit and rain. 10 miles up the road, it's snowing. So anyway, this is what we'll be doing a little bit today, and moving on to some other stuff. And you can see just how unusually the temperature keeps going back and forth. This is lantern fuel, and you can see it's frozen. So that's what the problem is with the wood too. It just when it gets like this, it'll freeze, lock the moisture in, and then you have to wait till you get a stretch of dry days and the humidity goes low. So anyway, let's do some stuff. And like I've been saying all along, there is no right way or wrong way. It's just you kind of keep whittling away, carving away until you achieve that shape that's pleasing to the eye, and kind of get your spoon, put it in your hand, bring it up your mouth, and see whether the handle and the thickness of the bowl and everything will allow you to eat in a normal fashion. And that's the best way to do it. This is a piece of old firewood, and it is maple, and it had reached a state of where it was like punky in some parts, spalted in another, and so I had to keep peeling away layers until I got to some solid wood, and so far so good. You could tell it's really starting to dry up good because the colors are kind of getting in different hues and everything, and then you can see the grain patterns, and at some point you can see where the little limbs had come out from the main trunk. Anyway, let's see if we can't kind of thin up this little piece right here. Last few months I've been primarily doing large, thicker pieces, but I've had a fascination with trying to bring it down to a much smaller spoon, kind of more looking like something normal. But of course, trying to get a wood spoon down that dimensions, I'd say that's probably not likely. And over the years, I guess we've kind of toyed around with all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and we shall see exactly what we can do with this. And I have had times where you get all the way down to, about as thin as you want to get, and it looks good, and then one more cut later it breaks because you've encountered a deep occlusion in the wood. Don't pull hard, just keep slowly working. Eventually, like I said, I've really been thinking about scroll saws and other power equipment, but up to this point it's all been done by hand. And every time I think I want to go to one of the stores and get the tool, kind of settle up in my mind that doing it by hand is the way to do it. I don't know. And if you're interested in, making spoons or anything like that, and you're going to see a ton of videos where folks will say, oh no, this is the way to do it, a certain way is a rookie way of doing it. Personally, I'd say just get out in your little wood shop, or if you don't even have that, your carport, your garage, or sitting in your lawn chair, and just do it, man. Hundreds of years ago, I mean, they didn't have powered equipment. So, alright, just getting ready to come off. Don't want to pull too hard. Alright, that looks pretty solid. Yeah, you might be able to take a little bit more down coming up here. It looks dry too. Hear the pitter patter of the rain on top of the shed. Definitely felt dry now in that piece of wood. You can hear that rattling. I've been asking a few people, showing the spoons, and it seems like everybody has a different idea of what the pleasing is to the eye, and make it thicker here, narrower here, kind of make a spiral design. We got plenty of wood, so we can keep kind of messing around until we hit that one design that is pleasing to the eye. And this particular spoon was one that we did a video, I don't know, a week or so ago, a couple weeks back, and we brought this from a piece of firewood. Used a chainsaw, cut up a piece of firewood, and kept whittling it down with the hatchet out here on the chop block until it got down to this, and then the bowl was much larger and bigger, because I didn't really think I was going to make like an eating spoon out of it, so to speak, more like a stirring spoon or a scooper. But I encountered all sorts of holes, so we had to shorten up the bowl. And it was so wet and humid that the spoon just would not dry. The wood would just not dry. Alright, man, I'm getting right to that point. We'll peel it back a little bit by finger. Alright. Just keep working it until your hand satisfies your eye, so to speak. Alright, I'm going to take our Sloyd here and kind of make some minute adjustments. It's still raining. Yeah. Alright. we're getting there. It's a solid piece of wood. Yeah. You can see where that twig came in off the main trunk, and it's definitely another one right there. And it is really up to each individual, the carver, that how deep you want your bowl. And one thing I've noticed that my hands are, I just do not like a thin handle. I really don't. I'd rather have something that my hand will wrap around totally. But you gotta measure that with the crank of the spoon and the depth of the bowl and how thick this part is, because all of those things have an effect on how you bring this to your mouth. You get this up part of your mouth is too thick, you gotta open your mouth too wide. So you just kind of keep playing around until you get something, if you intend on using it as a spoon or whatnot. If it's just for something to hang on the wall or put in a box and pass on to some generation 100 years from now, then what you're really achieving or wanting to achieve is just something that looks good. Totally up to you. Alright, I know we've talked about burnishing, with a rock. Unlike sandpaper, burnishing, sandpaper makes these little tears, and that's how it, removes the stuff that you want to remove it. Where burnishing kind of pushes packs that stuff back in and stuff like that. Like I say, you'll see videos where it'll say, rookie mistake to sand, pros use a rock to burnish. Personally, I'd say do whatever it is. Once you get into this and you see what things do, you're going to come up with your own idea. This is a CW 3000 sandpaper. Using this, it'll shine it up just like burnishing, but and then to remove a lot of material, you want to use something with a heavy grit. This is like a 120. This is about the same. It's up to you how you want to do it. And personally, I think I'm going to use some of this heavier stuff right now and bring this down a little bit. You can tell this is a nice solid piece of wood now. You'll see what I'm talking about. See how sandpaper makes those little tears and rips. Burnishing will not do that. It'll pack it down. But personally, I think that a combination of both is the way to go. And as you're kind of breaking material away, you'll notice certain little bumps and just keep whittling away. You got Sloyd knives, hook knives. Let's see here. You've got a detail knife. And good piece of advice is keep everything sharp. The sharper it is, the easier it'll cut. And once you have to start struggling to make a cut, you can damage your piece and also hurt your own self. Because the more force you put on it, the more likely it is to slip on you and you get a cut. Trust me, I know. Take your time. I've seen, heck, I've done it my own self, just break out the knife and, knock out a spoon in 10-20 minutes. But this old retired dude says, what's the point of hurrying? Just slow down, enjoy. It takes days to achieve that look that you want. Well, days you got, right? And you'll get into this and you'll start discovering certain ways to hold your knives in sandpaper. And you can make yourself a little carver's bib that kind of makes you where you can hold the spoon into your chest. And personally, I created this little holding thing here on the workbench. I can take my clamps and take a piece of wood and kind of hold the spoon down and bring it out by putting pieces of wood in here like that. And I have a real light duty kind of vise, and that's all I've needed so far. I mean, the biggest thing we've made is like a scoop, stirring spoon, and it's done quite fine. You can roll your sandpaper up like this. Get in the little crooks. And depending on what your mind's eye wants. You like curved surfaces, or you like squares, or where things all squared off and whatnot. You'll develop your own style and technique. So, no right, no wrong. Just whatever it is that you want to do and how you want to do it. Alright. See, the more you work it, more of the grain exposes itself to you. And like I said, it's nice. It's dry now. About as dry as it can get. Alright. So that might answer some of the questions of how I do what I do. And like I said, I really don't believe there's a right or a wrong or anything else. And just do your thing. Alright, everybody. Y'all probably seen videos where they sawmill people are cutting logs and stuff like that, and after they cut it, they make pour water on it, and it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. You can kind of do the same thing to your spoon. It gives you an idea of what the grain is going to look like and stuff. I don't want to put too much water on it, but it's going to be a pretty one. Considering firewood, right? Yeah. Alright, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.